KSMO Salem.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. Apple is being sued by the Justice Department over what the government says is an illegal monopoly over the smartphone market. The AP's Sagar Meghani has the story.
The sweeping antitrust suit accuses the world's most prosperous company of boxing out competitors and stifling innovation. The suit specifically looks to stop Apple from undermining technologies that compete with its own apps, a practice Attorney General Merrick Garland says allows Apple to maintain its monopoly.
Not because of its superiority, because of its unlawful exclusionary behavior.
And if left unchecked, the monopoly will continue.
But there's a law for that.
It's the latest example of an aggressive Justice Department bid to enforce antitrust law, even though it's lost some significant anti-competition cases. Apple says the suit is wrong on the facts and the law and promises a vigorous defense. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
At Boston's Massachusetts General Hospital.
It was truly the most beautiful kidney I have ever seen.
For the first time, a genetically modified pig kidney has been transplanted into a living person. Dr. Tatsu Kawai is director of the Legaretta Center for Clinical Transplant Tolerance.
The procedure went well. Upon restoration of blood flow into the kidney picked up immediately and started to make urine.
The recipient of the pig kidney is 62. Doctors say he's recovering well and is expected to be released from the hospital soon. The UN General Assembly adopted a resolution backing efforts to ensure artificial intelligence is safe and respects human rights. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he plans to invite Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address Congress. There's growing Democratic criticism of Netanyahu's leadership. This is AP News. The entire police department in a town in Maryland has been suspended, and people there don't know why.
Ridgely, Maryland, on the state's eastern shore, has suspended its entire police force as they wait for the results of an investigation by the state's prosecutors. Residents are not just confused and shocked, but they're concerned about response times if they need assistance. Ridgely officials said they've made arrangements with the nearby Caroline County Sheriff's Office to respond to calls for service within the town's boundaries for now. Several years ago, the department made national headlines when its then chief was involved in the 2018 death of Anton Black in the neighboring town of Greensboro. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto's Major League debut was not a good one. He lasted only an inning. The LA Dodgers lost to the San Diego Padres in South Korea 15-11, a night after the Dodgers fired Shohei Ohtani's interpreter following allegations of illegal gambling. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Hi, this is Jimmy Bell, nurse practitioner. I'm excited to be the new provider at Salem Memorial District Hospital Family Medicine. I'll be providing medical care for patients ages 18 and over. Please call 729-8000 to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and all private and other insurance. And at Salem Memorial District Hospital, always remember that it's all about the patient, every encounter, every time.
Have you seen Townscreen yet? It's one of the most affordable ways to get your message out in the community. With strategically placed vertical screens in numerous locations in Salem, check it out at Advanced Chiropractic, Jet Tires and Auto, Salem Bowling Center, and Terrell's Complete Auto Care, just to name a few. Find out more about how you can use Townscreen for everything local. Stop by 800 South Main or call 636-338-1199. Hometown created and maintained. Townscreen in Salem.
It's 55 degrees during the noon hour. The wind out of the east-southeast at 11 miles per hour. Our forecast today, sunshine, a high temperature near 62. The wind out of the southeast at 9 to 11, gusting to 18 miles per hour. Tonight, 39 degrees under a clear sky, a southeast wind at 10. And then for Friday, we have a 30% chance of seeing some showers during the afternoon. High temperature in the low 70s. The wind out of the southeast at 8 during the morning, turning to the west in the afternoon. Friday night, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. We'll have a wind chill down around 21. Wind out of the north at 10 to 20, gusting close to 30. And then for Saturday, mostly sunny, highs in the mid-50s. The wind is still out of the north at 10 to 16, gusting to 24. Saturday night, partly cloudy, a low of 35. And we'll have A lot of clouds in the area on Sunday, a high temperature of 61. Chance of showers Sunday night, a low of 47 degrees. Scattered showers on Monday with a high of 62. And then showers are likely Monday night up until about midnight or 1 o'clock, low of 35 degrees. Tuesday, sunshine, high temperature in the mid-50s. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 31. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 60. Right now, it's 55 degrees, wind out of the southeast at 11 miles per hour. It's time now for some commentary from the Brownfield Network, and we'll also get a check of the midday livestock report.
Technology is a wonderful thing. Hello, everyone. I'm Cindy Young with Brownfield, and this is my 2 cents. One of the greatest benefits of technology is that it does a lot of the thinking for us. One of the greatest disadvantages of technology is that it does a lot of the thinking for us. There are skills I learned from my parents that were once a part of my life that are all but a memory today. When my parents bought me my first car in 1978, I knew the most basic of auto maintenance. At 16, I could change a tire, check my oil and other fluids, and was confident that if I had a problem that I wasn't able to identify and my parents weren't there, someone in my circle of friends could help me figure it out. Today, I drive a Chevy Equinox, and to be honest with you, I've not so much as added windshield wiper fluid or checked my own oil. I can read my wiper fluid levels and air pressure levels for each tire and percentage of oil life left on a nifty little digital display on my dashboard. I know many women who are on par with many men when it comes to backing a livestock trailer or a wagon stacked high with hay. I am not one of those women. I have a bit of a problem with depth perception and a lack of confidence to pull it off. There were times when backing a truck or car into a tight space made me anxious. Now I have a vehicle with not only a backup camera but surround vision that uses 4 cameras to create an overhead view of the area around my vehicle. I'm fearless when it comes to squeezing in and out of tight spaces. Mom and Dad could do the very same thing without a single camera and probably do it in half the time it takes me with all of mine. I do not want to give up Google, cameras on cars, or GPS, but it couldn't hurt to polish up on some of those forgotten skills. Just in case. I'm Cindy Young with Brownfield. That's my 2 cents.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
7 million children suffer from asthma, more than any other chronic disease. Most asthma attacks are caused by allergic reactions to allergens, including those left behind by cockroaches and mice. In fact, 82% of U.S. households contain mouse allergens, and cockroaches are found in up to 98% of urban homes. How can you protect your family? Find out at pestworld.org. A message from the National Pest Management Association and the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology.
The Cardinals magazine, the care and quality of its presentation, the thick paper, the glossy photographs, and photographs from Stan Musial to Lou Brock to Jim Edmonds to the present-day players, the Cardinal tradition, the history. It will put you right there in Busch Stadium behind home plate like no other magazine. And it's easy to start a subscription. Just call 314-345-9000 or visit cardinals.com/magazine.
Direct business is underway and cash hogs are weak at midday. Hello, I'm Megan Grebner with your Brownfield Livestock Market Report. There's a light direct cash cattle trade underway. Live deals in the South have been reported at $188. That's $2 higher than the previous week's weighted averages. There are some bids that have surfaced at $190 live and $300 to $302 dressed in the north. Asking prices have yet to surface today. More business is expected to develop over the balance of the week. Box beef is higher at midday on solid demand for moderate offerings. Choice up $1.04 at $314.48. Select is $1.04 higher at $303.75. At the Huss Livestock Market in Nebraska, steers 500 to 800 pounds were steady to $5 higher, and heifers 500 to 700 pounds were $6 to $12 higher. Heifers over 700 pounds were uneven, from $3 lower to $3 higher. The USDA says demand was good from the buyers in the crowd and online. Medium and large one feeder steer 600 to 625 pounds brought $316.50 to $324. Feeder steers 800 to 838 pounds brought $248 to $249. Medium and large one feeder heifer 600 to 633 pounds brought $273 to $285.50. Cash hogs are weak at midday with moderate negotiated purchases. The cash hog market has continued its improvements as processors have been aggressive in their procurement efforts. The industry continues to monitor hog weights, the availability of market-ready hogs, and the overall demand picture. Speaking of demand, this week's export sales report was strong, and that's a good sign for global demand for U.S. pork. That helps provide price support. Domestic demand has been showing some strength as well recently. Barrows and gilt at the National Daily Director down 12 cents with a weighted average of 80.85. Prices at the regional direct markets were not reported at midday due to confidentiality. Butcher hog prices at the Midwest cash markets are steady in Dorchester, Wisconsin and Garnavillo, Iowa at $60. They're higher in Red Oak, Iowa at $52. At Illinois, slaughterhouse prices were steady with moderate demand for moderate to heavy offerings at $50 to $62. Barrows and gilts were steady with moderate demand for moderate offerings at $43 to $53. Boars range from $15 to $25 and $8 to $15. Pork values were lower at midday, down $1.67 at $90.51. Ribs and bellies were both sharply lower. I'm Megan Grebner for Brownfield.
It's really important to have one go-to store to get all of our needs. I mean, we can buy anything from mineral to cattle feed to seed to fertilizer. It really helps simplify things, just to have one store that you call and can supply all your needs. MFA is a whole farm solution.
A partner for your goals. MFA, your whole farm solution.
The Missouri Department of Agriculture wants you to know that black vultures can be harmful to livestock operations. Be sure you know the difference between the black vulture and the turkey vulture. Turkey vultures have white feathers across the entire length of their wingspan, while black vultures only have white feathers on the tips of their wings. Turkey vultures fly with their wings in more of a V formation, while black vultures hold their wings in a more straight, horizontal formation. Mitigation resources for your farm can be found on MDA's website at agriculture.mo.gov. That's agriculture.mo.gov.
That has been some commentary from the Brownfield Network and a check of the midday livestock report. It's now time to take a look at our updated funeral announcements being brought to you as a courtesy of Your World Today. Serving Salem and Dent County for over 30 years, Your World Today is 4 pages of information. Should take about 5 minutes to read, and they are available in over 40 locations here in Salem and in Bunker and online at our website at ksmoradio.com. Your World Today, be sure and pick up a copy each and every weekday or check it out online. Jackie Eugene Edwards, age 62 of Salem, passed away Tuesday, March 12th. Funeral services with military honors will be held at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Wilson Mortuary Salem Chapel. Visitation tomorrow as well from 10 until the time of service at 11. All of the arrangements are under the direction of the Wilson Mortuary of Salem for Jackie Eugene Edwards, whose funeral services with military honors will be held tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in the Wilson Mortuary Salem Chapel. Judy Whitaker of Steelville passed away Tuesday at the age of 79. Funeral services will be held Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville. Visitation on Saturday as well from 11 until the time of service at 3. All of the arrangements are under the direction of the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville for Judy Whitaker, whose funeral services will be Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville. Roylyn Colleen Welch, age 85 of Salem, passed away Wednesday. Funeral services will be held at 11 o'clock Monday morning at the Wilson Mortuary Salem Chapel. Visitation on Monday as well from 10 o'clock until service time. Burial will follow in the North Lawn Cemetery. Memorials may be made to the Salem Public Library. Envelopes will be available, and all the arrangements are under the direction of the Wilson Mortuary of Salem for Royland Colleen Welch, whose funeral services will be Monday morning at 11 o'clock at the Wilson Mortuary, Salem Chapel. William Earl Brockman, age 70, of Salem, passed away Tuesday. Memorial services will be held Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock in the Wilson Mortuary, Salem Chapel. Visitation on Monday as well from 2 o'clock until the time of service. All of the arrangements are under the direction of the Wilson Mortuary of Salem for William Earl Brockman, whose memorial services will be held Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock in the Wilson Mortuary, Salem Chapel. That has been a look at our updated funeral announcements. They've been brought to you as a courtesy of Your World Today. We invite you to stay tuned. In just a moment, we'll come back with a look at local news.
What's the fastest way for you to get yourself up to date on the latest in news, sports, weather, and obituaries that costs you absolutely nothing? It's Your World Today. Serving Salem and Dent County now for over 20 years, Your World Today is 4 pages of information that will take you about 5 minutes to read, and they're available in over 30-plus locations in Salem and in Bunker. Your World Today. Pick one up every weekday. They're free!
It's now time for a look at local news brought to you by Southwest Baptist University's Salem campus. SBU Salem campus provides quality higher education close to home for residents of Dent County and the surrounding areas. If you'd like more information on degrees and programs, stop by SBU Salem campus today at 501 South Grand Street or call 729-7071. An accident happened Wednesday evening just before 8:30 in Reynolds County on County Road 906. According to the Highway Patrol report, a 2000 Ford tractor being operated by 48-year-old James Doris of Bunker was traveling uphill on private property when a mechanical failure happened, causing the tractor to overturn. A passenger on the tractor, 50-year-old Shelley Hodge of Viburnum, suffered serious injuries and was taken by Phelps Air to Mercy Hospital in St. Louis. The tractor had minor damage and was left at the residence at the owner's request. And another accident happened Wednesday afternoon just before 3:20 in Crawford County on Interstate 44 westbound at the 215.6 mile marker. According to the Highway Patrol report, a 2001 Chevrolet Silverado being driven by 50-year-old Jennifer Stevens of Steelville had a tire blowout, causing the Silverado to travel off the right side of the roadway and overturn. Stevens, along with 2 passengers in the vehicle, 18-year-old Amber Dotson and 18-year-old Tiffany Stevens, both of Steelville, all suffered minor injuries. Jennifer Stevens and Dotson were taken by Missouri Baptist EMS to Missouri Baptist Hospital. Tiffany Stevens was transported by North Crawford EMS to St. Louis. The Silverado was totaled and removed from the scene by Patriots Towing. The report went on to state that neither the driver or the 2 passengers were wearing seat restraints. And another one-vehicle accident happened Wednesday afternoon at 1:30 in Reynolds County on County Road 752, just west of Highway Y. The Highway Patrol report states that a 1995 Ford Ranger being driven by 28-year-old Zachary Prater of Viburnum was traveling east when he lost control, then overcorrected and ran off the right side of the road and overturned. A passenger in the vehicle, 22-year-old Alexis Setzer of Davisville, suffered serious injuries and was taken by Reynolds County EMS to Ellington, where she was then transported to a St. Louis hospital by Life Night 24. The Ford was totaled and removed from the scene by AC's Towing. Neither Prater or Setzer were wearing seat restraints at the time of the accident. In other news, coming to the Ozark Natural and Cultural Resource Center on Highway 19 from March 23rd through the 5th is the exhibit called Crossroads, Change in Rural America. This exhibit offers small towns a chance to look at their own paths to highlight the changes that affected their fortunes over the past century. The exhibition will prompt discussions about what happened when America's rural population became a minority of the country's population and the ripple effects that occurred. Despite the massive economic and demographic impacts brought on by these changes, America's small towns continues to creatively focus on new opportunities for growth and development. Economic innovation and a focus on the cultural facets that make small towns unique, comfortable, and desirable have helped many communities create their own renaissance. The future is bright for much of rural America as small towns embrace the notion that their citizens and their cultural uniqueness are important assets. The Crossroads exhibit is part of the Museum on Main Street, a collaboration between the Smithsonian Institution and state humanity councils nationwide. Be sure to support the Museum on Main Street, and the support has been provided by the United States Congress. And an accident occurred in Dent County Wednesday morning at 9:40 on Highway 68 and Route U. According to the Highway Patrol report, an eastbound 2017 Freightliner being operated by 57-year-old Mohammed Gell of Minneapolis, Minnesota, turned left into the path of a westbound 2005 Dodge Dakota being driven by 43-year-old Veda Calkins of Salem. Calkins suffered minor injuries and was taken to the Salem Memorial Hospital. The report stated that both drivers were wearing safety restraints at the time of the accident. The Dodge was totaled and removed from the scene by Whitaker's Towing. The Freightliner sustained moderate damage, but was able to be driven from the scene. And the Missouri Department of Conservation and the Conservation Federation of Missouri thank the thousands of Missouri deer hunters who donated 247,575 pounds of venison to the state's Share the Harvest program this past deer season, including 5,394 whole deer. MDC and CFM also thank the participating meat processors throughout the state who grind the donated deer into ready-to-use packages and the many sponsors who financially support the program. The donated deer meat goes to local food banks and food pantries to help feed hungry Missourians all across the state. Meat processing fees are covered entirely or in part by numerous local sponsors, along with statewide sponsors that include Shelter Insurance, Bass Pro Shops, Feeding Missouri, and MDC. Share the Harvest is coordinated by MDC, and CFM has been helping feed hungry Missourians for more than 30 years. Since the program was started back in 1992, it's provided about 5 million pounds of lean, healthy venison to help feed hungry Missourians. To get Share the Harvest venison, you can contact local food banks or food pantries. The donated venison stays in the local areas where the deer were harvested, so it truly is helping out neighbors in need. The National Institutes of Health state that children need protein in their diets for proper growth and development, and adults need it to maintain good health. Yet many Missourians can't afford or can't get to good sources of protein. Through Share the Harvest, Missouri hunters can help provide those in need with high-quality protein in the form of naturally lean, locally harvested deer meat. And last Thursday in closed session, the Salem R.A.D. Board of Education employed Crystal Smith as an upper elementary title math teacher, employed Ashlyn Patterson as an upper elementary teacher, employed Stevie Pyatt as middle school special education teacher, employed Jared Patterson as a middle school teacher as well as high school boys basketball coach, and the board approved the recommended Salem R.A.D. probationary teachers, approved the tenured Salem R.A.D. teachers, and approved the recommended remaining Salem R.A.D. paid coaches working in the district. The board approved the recommended volunteer coaches, approved the recommended extra duty contracts, and also approved the recommended extended days contracts before ending the closed session and adjourning to the regular meeting. And the Missouri Department of Revenue wants to remind Missouri residents that Real ID-compliant driver's licenses and identification cards are available. The department began offering Real ID-compliant driver licenses and ID cards in March of 2019. Under Missouri law, applying for a Real ID-compliant driver's license or ID card is optional. But by May 7, 2025, residents of every U.S. state and territory will be required to present a Real ID-compliant driver's license or ID card or another form of ID accepted by the Transportation Security Administration to board federally regulated domestic flights. Individuals will also be required to present a Real ID-compliant driver's license or ID card or another form of acceptable ID to access federal facilities, including military bases and federal courthouses, and to enter nuclear power plants. Real ID comes from the Real ID Act of 2005, a federal law that focused on fraud protection, anti-terrorism, and driver's licenses and non-driver ID card security. The Real ID Act established minimum security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and ID cards and prohibits federal agencies from accepting, for official purposes, driver's license and ID cards from states that do not meet these standards. If you'd like to get some more information, you can visit dor.mo.gov. That has been a look at local news brought to you by the SBU Salem campus at 501 South Grand Street, where they offer degrees in the Nursing RN Bridge program, criminal justice, and elementary education. For more information about the SBU Salem campus, contact Admission Counselor Chris Welch at 729-7071.
Southwest Baptist University campus in Salem provides quality higher education close to home for residents of Dent County and the surrounding areas. The classes at SBU Salem campus are taught in the afternoon and evenings, making a degree attainable for people who are in the workforce or can't afford to go off to get a degree. We offer degrees in nursing, which is an RN Bridge program, criminal justice, elementary education. For more information on the degrees and programs, please contact Admissions Counselor Chris Welch to schedule an appointment as a prospective or returning student. You may call 573-729-7071.
Progressive Ozark Bank is proud to announce a better way to manage your debit card fraud alerts. Instead of a phone call, customers will receive a message on their text-enabled numbers if there is a concern on a debit card transaction. It's fast and easy. Want to find out how you can get fraud text alerts on your phone? Drop by or call Progressive Ozark Bank for more information. Progressive Ozark Bank, FDIC insured, where people matter.
In an era where sustainability and environmental responsibility are paramount, the world of colossal machinery is embracing the challenge of decarbonization. Scott Fenwick, Technical Director for Clean Fuels Alliance America, says the upcoming Clean Fuels Conference will provide some insight on the efforts to secure OEM approvals.
Certain applications have certain requirements, and so those are just a few of the things that Clean Fuels and the technical program here has been working on, sharing data with those original equipment companies and those engine manufacturers to prove and answer the questions they've got. What issues might we have with the fueling infrastructure? Is biodiesel compatible with the hoses that are draped over the sides of a ship, or with the tanks and the fueling infrastructure for locomotives moving across the country?
To learn more, visit cleanfuelsconference.org.
Have you seen Town Screen yet? It's one of the most affordable ways to get your message out in the community. With strategically placed vertical screens in numerous locations in Salem, check it out at the American Legion Post number 99, Looking Glass Salon, Salem Senior Center, and McCoy Vision Clinic, just to name a few. Find out more about how you can use Town Screen for everything local. Stop by 800 South Main or call 636-338-1199. Hometown created and maintained, Town Screen in Salem.
Is the IRS making you feel anxious? Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief specialize in problems like yours, and they're ready to negotiate your fresh start. Don't go another year fearing the IRS. Allies Tax Relief will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. You only pay if you qualify for their services, so why wait? Call 800-280-4184 today. That's 800-280-4184.
Taking a look at our local sports coverage, the Class 4 District 3 All-District teams have been named. On the boys' side, Salem Tigers guard Landon Richter was named to the team. Also named to the boys' team from the district were Tate Groover of St. James, Jesse Elrod from Cuba, Preston Heads from Cuba, who was also named the District Player of the Year. And for the ladies, Salem Lady Tiger forward Faith Kaminsky was named to the All-District team. Also named were Tyra Hafner and Courtney Caron from Cuba, and Lydia Kaminster of St. James, also Kendall Costopoulos and Emily Recker from St. James. Recker was also named the District Player of the Year. Big congratulations to all of these athletes. Caden Du Bois, Owen Hamilton, and Roy Stevens all had 2 RBI hits as Salem shut out Steelville Wednesday 15-0 to go to 3-0 on the year. The Tigers will be at Ellington this afternoon to face the Whippets at 4:30. You can hear the game here on KSMO, either 1340 or 95.7, and also audio stream the game on KSMO Media starting at around 4:15 with Tiger Talk and Coach Tony Edwards. And the Salem Tiger tennis team shut out the Licking Wildcats in their first match of the year, 9-0. They will be at West Plains today at 4 o'clock. And the Salem Lady Softball Tigers will be at Bourbon tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Salem is 1-0 going into the contest. And St. Louis Blues will play Ottawa this evening starting at 6 o'clock. KSMO will join that game in progress right after Salem Tiger baseball. And the Kansas City Royals Wednesday night tied with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 8-8. Today they'll play split squad games against the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Guardians. And the St. Louis Cardinals blasted past the Washington Nationals yesterday 13-4 as Jose Fermin and Dylan Carlson both homered. The Cardinals will be playing Houston this afternoon. That's been a look at our local sports coverage. Right now, let's get a check of sports from across the state from the Missouri Net.
At Sports, good afternoon. I'm Tim Fisher. We'll start with college football, where Mizzou head coach Eli Drinkwitz yesterday wrapped up spring practice. As they get set to look towards the fall, the spring is set that groundwork.
The second part of spring was to identify the weaknesses and strengths of our schemes. And I think both sides of the ball are starting to have a better sense of what the identity for this year is going to look like. Obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, with the new coordinator, still implementing some of his fingerprints onto the schematic style of what death row in our 4-2-5 will look like. There was a little bit more odd structure, a little bit more simulated pressures, and those were all good things. Now it's about figuring out what do our guys do best, and I know we'll spend the next part of the 4 months really dialing in on that.
The SEC also yesterday announced how scheduling will work in 2025. It will be the same opponents as 2024, just flipping home and road. So Mizzou in 2025 will host Alabama, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, and go on the road to take on Arkansas, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. On the women's college basketball postseason action tonight, the St. Louis Billikens and the WNIT go on the road to Central Arkansas, while at the WBIT, the Missouri State Lady Bears will travel to Illinois. On to hockey, where the St. Louis Blues are back on the ice looking for a bounce back tonight in Ottawa against the Senators. The Blue Notes saw their 4-game winning streak snapped on Tuesday. St. Louis still sits 4 points out of the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Puck drops tonight at 6 o'clock. To spring training baseball, where the St. Louis Cardinals in action this afternoon taking on the Houston Astros. The Kansas City Royals have split squad matchups, the Chicago White Sox and Cleveland Guardians. I'm Tim Fisher, Missouri Net Sports.
Not everyone recognizes that they might have a gambling problem. How do you know if gambling is a problem for you? Ask yourself if either or both of the following questions are accurate. Have you felt the need to bet more and more money? Have you ever lied to people important to you about how much you gambled? If your answer is yes to either of these questions, free help is available. Call 1-888-BETS-OFF for more information.
The Missouri Department of Agriculture wants you to know that black vultures can be harmful to livestock operations. Be sure you know the difference between the black vulture and the turkey vulture. Turkey vultures have white feathers across the entire length of their wingspan, while black vultures only have white feathers on the tips of their wings. Turkey vultures fly with their wings in more of a V formation, while black vultures hold their wings in a more straight, horizontal formation. Mitigation resources for your farm can be found on MDA's website at agriculture.mo.gov. That's agriculture.mo.gov.
I'm Dr. Tiffany Bland with Salem Memorial District Hospital. Recently, there have been many changes within our local clinics and hospitals, and you may find yourself looking for a new provider for your children. At SMDH, we would like to reach out to the community to let you know that we do see patients of all ages. Most of our providers are family practice, which means that we have been trained to see well-child visits as well as sick visits. We are happy to answer any questions that you may have. Salem Memorial District Hospital. Every patient, every encounter, every time.
Hey, it's Fitz from the Country Top 40 Countdown, and join me this weekend as Chase Matthews going to check in to share his country music rite of passage of recently becoming a road dog.
I love shaking hands and meeting new people and hearing their stories about my music.
Find out how Chase Matthews feels about all of it when we see you this weekend for all the hits on the Country Top 40 with Fitz.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, trained crisis specialists will listen to your concerns, provide support, and get you the help you need. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Black vultures can be harmful to livestock operations across Missouri. Missouri Department of Agriculture Director Chris Chin.
We are encouraging producers to keep your cattle up close where there's a lot of human activity, especially when you're calving. If you're looking for a depredation permit, we encourage you to reach out to the Missouri Farm Bureau. They're able to issue you a permit that will allow you to take up to 5 of the black vultures. We also are encouraging farmers and ranchers and producers to be reaching out to their University of Missouri Extension office. They have a lot of valuable resources to help you mitigate black vultures on your farm. We also have funds available at the Department of Agriculture to reimburse for necropsy results when the loss is determined to be by a black vulture. This determination has to come from a certified veterinarian or the U.S. Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services. You can find more information about black vultures on the Missouri Department of Agriculture website at agriculture.mo.gov.
We have a chance of rain in the forecast Sunday night, Monday, and Monday night. We'll tell you about the forecast in complete detail right after the top of the hour. Right now, a quick break, and we'll come back with news from the Missouri Net.
Did you know there is someone at your local hospital who can help you manage and understand the challenges of today's healthcare decisions? I'm Lisa Delaney, Director of Social Services at Salem Memorial District Hospital. If you have questions about Medicare or Medicaid, rehabilitation services, long-term care placement, or advanced healthcare planning, call me at 573-729-6626 to discuss your needs. We are committed to every patient, every encounter, every time.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events. Make sure you have the right policy for each of life's wins.
A life event could qualify you for a discount. Call me, Willie Strader, your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent, and we will make sure you have the coverage you need.
Missouri, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Illinois, Iowa, Tennessee, Arkansas, Indiana, and I can keep going on and on.
John, are you going through the 50 states?
No, Mike, he's giving us the states of the Cardinals radio network.
It's just amazing. We are heard just about everywhere across the Midwest.
For over 130 years, Cardinals baseball has been entertaining fans of all ages.
It's no different this year. We're bringing you all the hits, homers, strikeouts, and excitement right here on the Cardinals radio network powered by Gray Bar.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
With News on Missouri Net, I'm Marshall Griffin. A man is accused of shooting a Southwest Missouri police officer Tuesday night. News Nation in Springfield reports the 38-year-old man from St. Clair has been charged with shooting the officer twice in the back. The officer has been released from the hospital and is recovering. Missouri could be in store for above normal rain this spring. As the El Nino weather pattern begins to come to an end and La Nina follows, summer could bring uncertainty. Zach Leeser, a state climatologist with the University of Missouri, says the state has seen this pattern 8 times dating back to 1950.
Overall, there's a tendency for maybe a little bit of a warmer summer, but the precipitation is all over the board. So when we've flipped from El Nino to La Nina, we've had our wettest year on record in Missouri, which was 1973, but we've also had drought years like 1954 and 1988.
And Rosecrans Air National Guard Base is making another attempt to get the latest edition of C-130 cargo planes. This is Missouri Net.
Want to get out of just about anything and look like an earth-saving hero? Just use the environment excuse. High school reunion? Sorry, can't. Planetary obligations. Unfortunate bridesmaid's dress? Unfortunately, you promised the climate you'd buy more vintage. Chauffeuring teens? The earth really needs them to hoof it. The environment is always the best excuse. Find your out and opt in to Cutting Carbon. Just visit theenvironmentexcuse.org. Brought to you by WildAid.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs.